with Rabbit.
Is that about right?
That's great. As long as you don't speak that quietly.
Putting that voice on.
Yeah. Would you like me to talk?
Do you like this? Is my radio voice.
No, it's not.
That's your 0900 voice.
That's another type of voice, that one.
006969.
That voice will earn you $4.95 a minute.
That's my OnlyFans
Excellent.
voice.
I have an OnlyVans. It's just me nude in the Podvan. I haven't got any subscribers yet. Must be something I'm doing with the marketing. I can't.
That guy over there
Maybe
could
make it
subscribe.
free.
He looks interested.
Oh, he'd be right up for my OnlyVans.
Really interested.
I reckon I could. You know, because there's weird people out there in the world, and I reckon I could set up an OnlyVans, which is really just like really nice shots of caravans.
People would pay for that.
With porn music in the background. Dun, dun,
Oh, look at this.
Open the door for me.
Oh,
Open the back door.
I nearly said come inside in that voice. Oh, look at my 16-footer.
You know what's the odd thing? There's probably something out there like that.
Oh, there probably
There
is.
has to be.
OnlyVans.
There's a lot of freaky people in the world.
Yeah, and I'm here for them.
We are them.
That's right. We're on Gossip Waterfront in a van.
Yeah. Talking about the new business venture.
Caravan porn.
Oh, man. You know, so I used to do prank calls on the radio for years and years. It was pretty much my living was doing these gotcha calls. And my brain still goes there every now and then. And instantly through when we're talking about that, I was just picturing, that'd be a very funny call to make to like a caravan place. Just tell them, now just hear me out. I'm setting up this business. Call Ellen Graham's Caravans. Just go, now listen, I want to come down and shoot some shots of your vans, but I need sexy shots of the vans.
Naked van.
Yeah. Can you undress them for me?
Yeah.
All doors open.
Watch me remove the awning.
Stop it.
Do it slower. Do it slower.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Winds me up.
There could be. There's a whole separate segment, and that costs more to watch the bearings getting oiled.
Subscribers.
What about the greasy bits?
I love it.
Oh, that's a spin-off channel, Greasy Bits. Oh, you could run so many things just for people that like greasy things. Just KFC. Something you never know what you're going to get when you go to Greasy Bits.
Greasybits.com.
Finger licking good.
You had to go there. And the merch is those like wipes.
Oh, yeah.
You used to get.
I believe they're called
different colours.
wet wipes.
Yeah.
Greasy one.
Oh, man.
For your greasy bits.
Yeah. I mean, so anyway, that's what the Podvan's about.
I love it. Are we done? Business ventures. Love it.
And the greatest thing about with the way I do this now that I've figured is there's no way to try and introduce people at the start, because then that gives it's like I used to do this with radio interviews. You just get them on the line, start chatting. After a minute or so, they might go, "Are we on?"
Yeah.
And it's like, good, I've got you completely disarmed and we're just having a chat.
Yeah,
whereas if you go, "I'd like to introduce my next guest," blah, 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 then they go,
Oh, that's me.
"God, don't say greasy bits now. We're on. We're on. Oh, we've been on since you said greasy bits."
That's the new intro.
Well, a fun thing I've started doing, and someone just suggested last night online that we need to bring out a range of T-shirts that have on them, and now we've got the title for the episode, because that gets said in every episode. I've had like 30 episode titles so far in this one. It's just a quote. It's just a quote from it. I didn't identify one through that.
Greasy bits. I thought it was greasy bits.
Greasy bits is, you'd certainly click on it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, some people would.
Yeah. But then I don't know I want my name attached to that. Do you? Here's Cassie and her greasy bits. Do
you know
I want that in my title.
Look,
too
I'm
many words.
47. I'm totally okay with it now. I don't care. They wouldn't think I've got greasy bits. Go for it.
If the bits are still greasy.
I'm there for it.
There was too many words, so I think I'll just have to go with just Cassie's greasy bits. Great, thanks.
Thanks.
Glad I came along.
Nice to see you, Rabs.
Yeah, isn't it? All right, so now, back in the intro, I can do a bit of context, but in case my future self hasn't completely covered that off, Cass and I worked together for 6 years, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got that, yeah.
Yeah. Have you recovered?
You're sitting in front of me, so yes.
Yeah.
Recovered? No.
Oh, man.
No, I would say genuinely best 6 years ever working with the show with you guys.
It was a fun time.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So and this, I love that this is an extension of that.
Yeah, crazy. I knew I'd get into, as I was driving down here today, I thought, I'd probably get to unpack some stuff with you as far as going from that to this. And like you did from the station. So rewind back to then.
Yeah.
You left.
So I left, 2-3 years ago now? It was really emotional. I think you go through a grieving process where you are so, like as you were with the station we both worked for, we loved it so dearly that when I left it, I definitely grieved the people, the experience, but there's so much positive that you take away from it too, there's so many memories. And I think one of the things I've learned is you can't recreate the past. You take it with you and you hold on to it and you go, that was so special. I had such a fabulous time. And I still have those connections, those friendships, those mentors, all the great stuff is still with me, even though I'm not there anymore.
Yeah. But you do have those, like for me, I mean, it was different from it. You chose to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. And
it's different.
Oh, that hurts.
Hard.
And so then there's moments after that. And as you know from when you finished up, station keeps going.
That's
it just
right.
moves on without you. And like in any workplace, if you leave a workplace and it was such a big part of your life, you're not there. You're not doing all the things you were doing in there. But they all are.
That's right.
And it all
and
just
it goes
moves
on
forward.
without you.
Yeah.
You know? I kind of put it down now. I got to a really good place with it. Like, I feel like life redirects you for something else. But at the time, you're like, what? What just happened? I just got this thing ripped out from under me. Like you said, I left of my own volition. But still, it was a big decision to leave after so many years.
Yeah.
And being so invested in it. But it's just a redirection. And look what you've done now.
I'm nearly at the point, and on some days I am at the point where I'm grateful that it happened.
Yeah.
Which is, I never thought I'd get to. And we're only 4 or 5 months from it happening. When it gets to the point where the numbers are as big as they were on the radio and the money is same point as the radio, that's the dream, then that's where I'll go, oh, thank goodness that happened.
But also, I know you're not there yet, but you are building that for yourself, whereas you're working for someone else, it's a different thing. Like, there's a different level of satisfaction. And Vicky would know this. You work for yourself and you've gone from working in a corporate environment to whatever.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I was a project manager for 20 years.
Yep.
And then, moved up to Ballina from Sydney. Worked out I couldn't have that same kind of pay packet up there. So I quit that and I became a marriage celebrant. And I've got my own business marrying people every day.
Really?
It's so fun. I love it. Yeah. I'm very
Oh, my
lucky.
goodness.
Yeah.
Very grateful for that. Yeah.
Where did that come from, though?
Oh, well, I'm a writer, so I love to write stories and things.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a new direction because it wasn't working for me up there.
Yeah.
In project world. And I met another celebrant and she had short, rocking hair and like tattoos all over her. And I said to her, what do you do? And she was like, I'm a marriage celebrant. And it just went ding. That's what I've got to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that's
crazy.
in a nutshell.
Yeah. But it's funny, a big thing that happened with me at the end of that is, and I remember I spoke to a guy, God, the day after I was slid the bit of paper that said, we're not going to renew your contract, I had a talk to do at a high school. And it was a big day that they do at this high school for the boys of the school.
I do know this one. Yeah.
Blokes breakfast they put on and stuff. So I got up and spoke at that. I got up on stage there the day after it happened, and you should have seen the room when I went. So a little bit about me for those who don't know. I've been on radio here on the Central Coast for 8 years. We've got the #1 show, blah blah blah. Went through all of this stuff and then went, and yesterday I found out I've lost my job. And the room just went, uh-oh, this is uncomfortable. And I'd started preparing my mind for possibilities that could come from it. Yeah. And so that was why I went and did that talk as well. In the horrible, I'd driven home the day before, like tears and just wrecked. But I'd already started planting the seed in my mind of, if this doesn't go the way I hope it does,
what's next?
What could that mean?
Yeah.
And so I was able to speak to them there in that room of possibilities and saying to them, I don't know. I don't know what's next. I've got ideas. I think I said in that, could be a podcast, could be speaking at gigs like this. I could do more emceeing things. I don't know. But on the whole possibilities thing, did I talk to you, Cass, about the yes. positivity versus possibilities mindset?
Yes, you did, yeah. But explain it, because I think it'd be, really interesting for Vic to hear as well.
So the timing was crazy when I heard, and funnily enough, it was a podcast. It was 𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀, and I'd been down at, it was the Radio Awards down in Sydney, and for a few weeks, this is all still, contract talks hadn't even started at this point, but I started feeling the vibe. I don't know. I was just picking up on something, and I was a bit thrown out by it. I didn't know what was going, and my mind started going, could this actually happen? And I'm thinking, surely not, but what's going on? And we had the Radio Awards. It was a bit uncomfortable that night. I went back to the hotel room, and I was supposed to stay the night there, but I just called my wife and I said, I'm coming home. I'm still wide awake. There's no way I'm going to sleep. And we're not all catching up in the morning for brekkie, apparently. So I just come home. So I'm driving home, and I just put on a podcast to listen. I didn't listen to many podcasts. And it was this episode with 𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀. And he talked about the difference between the possibilities mindset and the positive mindset. And I've always been a real positive mindset. And you know that, Cass, through all that time.
100%.
Just blindly optimistic.
Yes.
Everything will work out. It's going to work out. It'll be fine. But what he spoke about, and he started off in that episode by saying that it was wrong to have a positive mindset like that. And I nearly turned it off. I went, please. And then I listened to it more, and he said, but what you can have is a possibilities mindset. And it's great to think everything's going to work out. But at the end of the day, it's not. Like, there are things that are going to come along that are going to throw you. And what we're finding these days is that as people switch more to got to have a positive mindset, always be thinking of only focus on positives, not on the negatives. And I don't like to focus on the negatives, but things are going to come along. And if you're not ready for them, they can absolutely hammer you.
That's right. I think for me, I was fine. And going back to leaving a place that we love working is you are growing in that environment. Yeah, 100% you're growing. But when you are faced with a major change, or you step outside of that comfort zone, that's where the true growth happens.
Yeah.
Personally.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you're thinking about all the possibilities in that change, right, you've still got to, the negatives are where you learn. So you got to learn, you got to grow, but the possibilities are the growth for me. It's like, you just never know what's around the corner unless you're open to it, unless you've stepped outside and you're open to stuff.
Yeah.
You may not, I don't like to use the term stuck, because I think people can get stuck in that.
Yeah.
But you could possibly not be growing as much. You know?
I don't look at it as stuck.
Possibility is a great word.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great word.
Yeah. I look at it as hanging on. It's not stuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's as soon as you let go of that.
Yeah.
What you were holding on to.
Well, a big thing that you can hold on to as well is, as I was leaving that gig, one of the teachers was walking alongside me, and this is the one at the high school, and
yeah, it's all happening here.
I presume they're here for you.
They found me.
It's not me. Yeah. She's back in town. This would be what it would be like if I went back to New Zealand now. So many library fees and
parking tickets.
Yeah.
So we went to the bottle shop last night to get a bottle of wine, right? And we were both like, rather than saying to the bottle shop attendant that we used to live here because we don't want people to know it, we're like, we're on holidays because we don't want people to know we're
never
back in town.
Here. Never been here. You don't know who we are. You don't recognise us.
Coming under otherwise, you're going to have to catch up with 1,000 people.
That's right.
Yeah. So when I was walking away at that high school, I'm walking with the teacher, and it was interesting. He was a footy player, NRL, rugby league player, and he'd got up to the point, I think he was one step away from the NRL, and everything was looking like he was going to get it. And then he did his knee in, and he went through a horrible thing thing of depression because that was his identity. He was going to be an NRL player. All he'd ever done is focused on his rugby league, and that was just who he was and what he was going to do. And then he said, suddenly I found myself going, well, what do I do? That's what I do. But you can, it's not even really having to reinvent yourself. It's just going in a bit of a different direction.
Yeah, I use this kind of analogy because I do a little bit of life coaching, right? So I use this as like, if your life is a table, okay, and you have the 4 legs of the table, which are, what are they? As one is work, one is family. They're all different for all different people. But what are the legs of the table? And just make sure that if one leg gets knocked out, the table can still stand because you've put enough effort into the other 3 legs.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, for that, what you're talking about is for the football star, is what were his other 3 legs? Because if he's put all of his effort into that football career and it's knocked out, you know, and I think it takes a while to get to that maturity mindset to go, hang on a minute, let's build up all areas of my life so that then I've got a good foundation. So if something goes, I'm okay, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes you don't realize that you actually have those other legs going on. When I went to a shrink as part of the whole in the contract talks thing, I was going to a psychologist and counselor, I think she was, and we're just talking through some things. And it was really interesting. The way I thought, the way I was focusing on things, she brought me around to another way. So I was talking about my job and that I love my job and I don't know what I'd do without it and all this. And she was asking me why. And I talked about my love of like the entertaining on air and that side of it. But then I also, when we talked about my anxiety and what would wake me up in the middle of the night and I'd have my massive downward spiral and freak out, it was, if I lose my job, I'm not going to be able to pay the mortgage. I'm not going to be able to, we're going to have to sell this house. The kids are in great schools. They love where they are right now. I don't want to move again. Got to be able to put food on the table. And she's like, so really it's all about family. What you're saying through all that, like you, the worry you have is really over being able to provide for your family. Yeah. Which was
And what are the other ways you can provide?
And there are other ways.
Yeah, that's right. We worked with our boss at the station. He used to always ask me when I was having a spiral moment, he'd go, but what is the absolute worst that can happen? And do you do that? You'd go, I'd lose my job or I'd, have to, sell my house. And he'd go, hang on a minute. So if you did all those things, where would you be? What would you do? And you go, well, I don't know. I might go away in the van. So we had a caravan. And he'd be like, well, isn't that a good thing?
You'd have more time.
Like, great. Bringing it back, that's a possibility.
That's a possibilities mindset. So what good things could come out of it?
Yeah.
So right from that moment when I was listening to that podcast on that drive home, I paused it and I thought about it and went, okay, let's go to a horrible place where they tell me that, no, we're not going to renew your contract. Okay. And I'll just make a list in my head as I'm driving up the M1. And first up was podcast. And then there was renovating caravans. And selling those, although I love doing that. And then what else was in there? I mean, I just went almost like a brainstorming session. No idea's a bad idea. Just look at what could actually happen. And then I thought of the other radio stations here and I thought, you never know. Triple M could say, oh, okay, what about coming over here? So that's a possibility that I never would have even thought about going there because I was so happy where I was. But that's a possibility. We could move market. Maybe I would bring it up with Sav and the kids and they could go, okay, I could do more MC work. I could do it. Suddenly I just went, all of these things. I don't know where, I wish I could remember the moment where I went, take everything that I've learnt and that I love renovating caravans.
And put the two together. How clever.
Build a podcasting studio.
This is so clever, I think, right? And I think that, again, the possibilities for where you can take this van is incredible, right? Oh, no one's doing this, right? I haven't looked into it, but there's no other
not that I know of
that's doing this.
Not that I know of, no.
It's very retro. Do you remember we used to, years ago back in radio, they used to put like announcers in vans to broadcast.
Oh, yeah. And then, you'd have like a broadcast van sort of thing.
Yeah, and sit you in it. Yeah, many years. They're talking like that.
This was my idea.
2000 sort of. Yeah, but then it was like.
It turns out I've done it before. 30 years ago. All right, that'll do us for this quick fix. Remember, if you ever want to hear the full conversation it comes from, just match the number in the title of this quick fix to the full episode number. And don't forget, if you turn on the notifications in Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you won't miss any episodes or extras that drop.
Podvan Quick Fix with 𝙈𝙊𝙉𝙀𝙀𝙀💡
Oh, hey, just before you go, a little heads up. There's a couple of brand new shows that are now part of the Podvan Media family, and I'd love you to check them out. They are brilliant. First up, Beyond the Tube with 𝙈𝙀𝙉𝙁. This is a podcast for parents and carers navigating life with a tube-fed child. This is something 𝙈𝙀 knows about firsthand through her journey with her son Ezra.
5 days after his first birthday, we were admitted to Gosford Public Hospital, where we stayed for 5 nights. An NG was inserted 24 hours after we were admitted because he was failure to thrive. Within about 3 weeks, we saw a huge drop. He still looked very healthy. If I showed you photos of what he looked like at that stage, you would think, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a chubby little boy and he looks good. He did. He looked really good. But my breast milk was all that was keeping him alive.
Even if you're not in that world, it's a really good listen. And then there's Safari Life with Bobby Joe. Now, she's out in the wild, literally sending me incredible stories from wherever she is in the world. This one's from Tanzania with a local guide she's been using for the last 10 years. And what a story.
The baby elephant came up and started touching the car, and the mother, for a good 5-10 minutes, she tried to get this calf away, and she was getting quite frustrated, and we stayed very quiet.
They don't know whether it's people or we are another certain type of animals in the wild, but the way she was care about her baby, trying to pull her baby away while keep her eye on us, it was incredible experience.
She gave us a look, and it was like a look of, she was just definitely trying to assess what was happening in the car, if there's any threat.
Yeah.
I just love the stories we're getting out of these. Both shows are live now, so you can just search up Safari Life or Beyond the Tube in the same app you're in now.